Like, I think it kind of captures the full spectrum of human emotion. Happy New Year, welcome back to my channel. I am changing things up. I got a new camera, which hopefully doesn't suck, although time will tell when I actually edit this. I wanted to ring in the new year by ranking iconic 2014 pop culture moments because yes, it has been 10 years. I don't know how, I don't know where the time went. I have no conception of time anymore because like, what do you mean I'm not 19? Like, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Anyway, a few months ago, I did a 2012-2013 internet pop culture ranking video, and so today I'm going to be doing something similar with things that happened in 2014. I included stuff that I wanted to rank, but I also included stuff that you guys suggested on my channel. Also, yes, if you are new here or semi-new here, I do post polls on my community tab, so if you want to give your input on what I talk about on my channel, then you should definitely subscribe so that you can follow that. I'm super excited for the content that I'm planning to make in the coming months. I'm trying to get back into talking about movies and TV shows on my channel, so there's a One Tree Hill recap on the way, but also if there's anything that you want to see me talk about on this channel, feel free to let me know. So for this ranking, I have 5 tiers, and at the top is changed lives for the things that truly live rent-free in my brain or change the course of the culture as we know it. Second is love it, meaning like, yes, I get it, I respect it, and I like this, it's just not top tier material. The third tier is and I included this tier for the things I couldn't quite make out how I feel about it, or I just don't care, or I feel neutral about it. Fourth is respectfully, I want to forget this for the things that I dislike and just wish never happened. And bottom of the barrel is parakeet with the butcherknife.jpg. I struggled a bit in coming up with the bottom tier label for the pop culture moments that I wanted to put at the bottom, so I give you parakeet with the butcherknife.jpg. This is inspired by The Boy and the Heron. So starting off, we of course have to discuss Frozen. I know that this movie came out in late 2013, but everyone's obsession with it followed into 2014. Disney did market this movie so much before it came out, like I feel like I knew everything about this movie before it even came out back then. I just remember people talking about it a lot on Tumblr. But yeah, everyone was obsessed with it. Everyone was obsessed with Let It Go. It wasn't a karaoke night without 2 people duetting Love is an Open Door. I am not a fan of Frozen though. Like once the hype wore off, I realized that I didn't like that movie. The characters, the plot, the emotional impact, the visuals, they all just didn't do it for me. I am afraid to say that I hate this movie because I don't want to catch the hands of Disney adults, but I definitely don't like this movie that much, and it's not one of my favorite Disney films by any means. So I'm gonna put Frozen in the 4th tier. Next, we have Solange and JayZ's elevator drama. So Solange is Beyonce's sister, and as we all know, Beyonce and JayZ are married. JayZ cheated on Beyonce. Yep, you heard that right. None of us are safe. In 2014, at like a Met Gala after party, there was surveillance footage from an elevator where Solange and JayZ are arguing, and Beyonce is also witnessing this argument. The footage showed that they weren't really just arguing, like Solange was ready to throw hands with JayZ. And after the surveillance video got out, the 3 of them released a joint statement saying, as a result of the public release of the elevator security footage for Monday, May 5th, there has been a great deal of speculation about what triggered the unfortunate incident. But the most important thing is that our family has worked through it. Jay and Solange each assume their share of responsibility for what has occurred. They both acknowledge their role in this private matter that has played out in the public. They both have apologized to each other, and we have moved forward as a united family. The reports of Solange being intoxicated or displaying erratic behavior throughout that evening are simply false. At the end of the day, families have problems, and we're no different. We love each other, and above all, we are family. We've put this behind us and hope everyone else will do the same. So that happened in May 2014, and then in August 2014, Beyonce acknowledged what had happened in her remix of her song Flawless, where the lyrics said, "Of course, sometimes shit goes down when there's $1 billion on an elevator." That is some tea. You know, normally I don't really care about celebrity family drama, but we did get Lemonade the album, and that truly did change lives, so I'm gonna have to put this at the top, I fear. The next thing I am ranking is Justin Bieber's mugshot. In 2014, when Justin was just 19 years old, he was arrested on the suspicion of drunk driving, drag racing, driving without a valid license, and resisting arrest after police pulled him over on a residential street in Miami. Tests later showed that he had drugs in his system, but his alcohol levels were below the limit. In his mugshot, he appeared in an orange jumpsuit, smiling like this. He does look back at this and kind of goes, ooh, that was not a version of myself that I'm proud of. And I'm not ranking his DUI because that would be unhinged. I'm ranking his mugshot because his mugshot went viral and everyone made memes. I mean, this picture is This picture is kind of iconic. Like, I think it kind of captures the full spectrum of human emotion. So you know what? I love it. I'm putting it in the second tier. Now we have the sitcom How I Met Your Mother ending. I watched this sitcom when I was arguably too young to have watched this sitcom. Obviously, there are funny parts that still hold up. The actors are wonderful, but it is very outdated as a whole. Stuff like Barney Stinson as an entire character just would not fly today. Anyway, the premise of this sitcom, if you don't know, is this guy named Ted Mosby telling his kids the story of how he met their mother. And you kind of go through 9 seasons / 9 years of his stories living in New York in his 20s and 30s with his friend group, and it follows their lives, specifically their love lives. In the very end of the show, we finally meet the mother, and she's perfect, and then in the last 5 to 10 minutes of the entire show, they kill her off, and then Ted ends up with one of his friends, Robin, in said friend group, who he dated years ago and is the ex-wife of his friend Barney. Even though that ending did not entirely make sense to me given how they wrote the characters and their arcs by the end of the show, and I was so mad, so I'm gonna put this in the 4th tier because I wish I never saw that. And of course, we have to discuss The Hunger Games. This was the peak of the franchise. Mockingjay Part 1 came out that year. So, like, hear me out. I love The Hunger Games, but this movie is my least favorite out of all the Hunger Games films. I think, okay, controversial, but I think they could have made the Mockingjay movies one movie. Or maybe I'm just hating because that movie had too much Gale in it. Like, this is a Team PETA channel. Team PETA if it wasn't for the baby Malark, always. And I feel like as much as I would want to avoid talking about this, we have to discuss The Fault in Our Stars. Because I know in my 2012-2013 ranking video, I talked about just the popularity of John Green books, but here specifically, I'm talking about The Fault in Our Stars because the movie came out in 2014. So like I mentioned, it was based on the John Green book, and the movie starred Shailene Woodley, and unfortunately, it starred Ansel Elgort. The reason why I feel like I can roast this book / movie now is because I used to love it, like I was in the trenches myself. Once the part of my brain that develops around 15 years old rebooted itself, I realized how insane it was that these two characters went to the Anne Frank Museum and decided to go to the bedroom right after. Also, the realization that the line, okay, should not be enough to make me cry. The only thing that I think is arguably iconic is some of the other quotes from this movie. Like, Gus has this quote about putting a cigarette in your mouth and not lighting it because it's like chic and profound to put something that can kill you between your teeth and not give it the power to kill you or something. What was the quote? Okay, here we go. It's a metaphor, see? You put the killing thing right between your teeth, but you don't give it the power to do its killing. Wait, oh my god, here's another one. I fell in love the way you fall asleep. Slowly. Then all at once. I am so sure that it had me kicking my feet when I was younger. This honestly would have been fine if it wasn't for the fact that they had their first kiss in the Anne Frank Museum, so I gotta put it under parakeet with a butcher knife.jpg. And because I'm just plowing through the franchises, I have to of course talk about Divergent because the first Divergent movie came out in 2014. It's been 10 years. Okay, so here's a little fun fact about me. Between the years 2007 and like 2015, basically when I was a kid reading a lot of books and stuff, I loved book series like The Hunger Games, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson. I also loved Magic Tree House when I was a kid. Divergent was the series that I pretend to like at the time because all my friends liked it. I think I read the first book and I didn't like it, so I didn't read the other books. And I think I saw the first 2 movies and never saw the last one. It just never made sense to me. Like, I was literally talking about this the other day with one of my best friends. I have like a whole rant that I don't think I am mentally prepared to fully unpack on the internet, but basically I just didn't understand the factions, and whenever someone would try to explain it to me, I would just get even more confused because they sounded so similar. Like, what do you mean that there's a faction for being kind and a faction for being selfless? Like, those sound similar. Also, how do you divide people that way? Like, no one goes into one box like that. In my head, I've always looked at something like the houses in Harry Potter and gone, well, okay, at the very least, this is like a fun little frat house community of students at your school. It wasn't the way that they structured their entire society. Also, in defense of my opinion on the Divergent series, there is a very compelling argument about how the Divergent series single-handedly tanked the whole dystopian YA genre on Tumblr. So Yeah, we're gonna put that in the 4th tier. Okay, so next we're moving away from talking about movie book franchises, and the next thing I'm gonna rank is Kim Kardashian's Paper Magazine photo shoot. So Kim Kardashian doesn't need an intro or description. We all know of her at the very least, and if you don't, cool. In 2014, Paper Magazine released a full cover story of Kim Kardashian, and she posed nude in a series of photos where she was like covered in baby oil. Obviously, I can't show those photos, but here is a non-nude photo from the shoot. The cover story was titled Break the Internet, which it quite literally did. There was nothing that interesting to me about the interview itself. She just sort of talks about social media really being a powerful tool for her family. She said she loves showing her life on social media. I don't care, so I'm gonna put this in the 3rd tier. The next thing was a huge throwback that sent me into orbit. Do you all remember Alex from Target? So Alex from Target was this thing where a customer at Target posted a picture of this guy named Alex that worked there checking her items out. And then that photo went viral and everyone became obsessed with this guy named Alex from Target. Turns out he is just an American teenager named Alex Christopher LaBeouf. But his picture went so viral in like November 2014 that the hashtag Alex from Target was trending like worldwide. And it got like so weird so fast. Like there is the CEO of a startup that claimed to take credit for the photos at some point. Alex from Target went on the Ellen show. I always thought, because I guess I was really young when this happened, that this was like a 20-year-old frat dude. But it turns out he was like a 16-year-old child, and looking back at this as a 23-year-old now, I'm like, this is mildly concerning. But like, what a time to be alive, right? I mean, these memes were so 2014, and I'm absolutely losing my mind internally at this The Fault in Our Stars crossover meme. But yeah, I'll put it in Love It because it's iconic. Next, I'm going to rank the U2 iTunes invasion. So September 9th, 2014, a probably lovely end of summer day, Prince William and Duchess Kate had just announced they're expecting. The 2016 election hadn't happened yet. Apple CEO Tim Cook at a launch event brought out the band U2 to announce their new album Songs of Innocence, which had been commissioned by the company and would be made available to each and every one of over 500 million iTunes customers at no cost. And instantly, whether any of us liked it or not, we opened up iTunes that morning and saw all of U2's songs from this album on our phones, automatically added to our purchase section of our music. Their guitarist later told Time that the launch was actually incredibly submersive. It's really punk rock. It's really disruptive. Look, U2 did get their music to as many people as possible. Like, I see the vision, I get it, I respect it. However, I did not want to be disrupted. So I'm going to put this at the bottom. So the next thing that I'm going to rank, I added because as I was searching for things to rank, this ended up being on a lot of memorable parts of 2014. Ariana Grande's rise to fame. I know her debut album came out in like 2013, but 2014 was when her sophomore album came out. That was when Bang Bang came out. That was when Santa Tell Me came out, which of course is a song that plays every Christmas now. It was like right after Victorious ended and she popped into the mainstream. So I mean, Bang Bang, Problem, Love Me Harder, those are bops, so I'm going to put that in the 2nd tier. So the next thing I'm ranking, I have talked about on my channel. It is one of my favorite Oscar moments. Adele DeGeneres. John Travolta at the 2014 Oscar Awards had to introduce Idina Menzel to the stage to perform, and as he was introducing her, he said, "Give it up for Adele DeGeneres."
Here to perform the Oscar-nominated, gorgeously empowering song, Let It Go, from the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen, please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele DeGeneres.
There was nothing that happened. He just completely fumbled the name. And I mean, I love it. I mean, look, I get it. If I had to introduce someone at the Oscars, I too would fumble on my words. Bless his heart though. Apparently he felt so bad that he like sent flowers and gifts to Idina Menzel. But like, yeah, I'm gonna put that at the top. Now we have the Kermit the Frog sipping tea meme. I mean, I love it. I love it. You can't not love it. This is me when I hear about drama. This is me always, actually. Kermit memes just always hit. Like, they'll never get old. So I'm going to put that in the second tier. And now, by suggestion from one of you, we have Taylor Swift's 1989 Gaylor, Girl Squad, Katy Perry drama era. So this was Taylor Swift's OG 1989 era, and it was super significant to her career. It was the first time she had worked with Jack Antonoff on a whole album, and that proved to be significant because they would become a partnership for like the next decade. She won a Grammy for this album. It was the first time that she went fully pop. There was so many chart toppers on this album, like Blank Space, Shake It Off, Wildest Dreams, Style, etc. This was also the era of her Girl Squad, where she was like in her single girl, I don't need a man, I just need my friends era. This was when she started talking about feminism, and she got a lot of criticism for being a white feminist. There's also a lot of criticism for her friend group because it was apparently exclusive and homogenous, so people called it performative. This was also like the height of her drama with Katy Perry. Like, this doesn't matter now at all because they've made up since then, but back then Taylor said in an interview, she basically tried to sabotage an entire arena tour. She tried to hire a bunch of people out from under me, and I'm surprisingly non-confrontational. You would not believe how much I hate conflict. So now I have to avoid her. It's awkward and I don't like it. The day after the story appeared online, Perry tweeted, "Watch out for the Regina George in sheep's clothing." And then when she was later asked about the tweet, she said, "If somebody is trying to defame my character, you're going to hear about it." 2014 was also the era of Taylor Swift fans heavily speculating her sexuality, specifically her relationship with her then friend Carly Kloss. And I don't have the mental capacity to fully unpack all this because it's a lot, and I'm gonna put that in the fourth tier. Next is Zach Galifianakis' interview with Barack Obama. So Zach Galifianakis had this show called Between Two Ferns where he would interview celebrities and public figures in a very awkward, humorous way. He did one with Obama and it went viral. I'm pretty sure it has like nearly 50 million views, and it was like the most popular interview that he did. It's like the most popular interview on like the Funny or Die YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure.
What is it like to be the last black president?
Seriously? What's it like for this to be the last time you ever talked to a president?
It must kind of stink, though, that you can't run, 3 times.
No, actually, I think it's a good idea. If I ran a third time, it'd be sort of like doing a third Hangover movie. Didn't really work out very well, did it?
And it was pretty iconic. Like, I still love it, so I'm gonna put it at the top. So now we have another thing that I've already ranked in a previous video in my Oscars ranking, Ellen DeGeneres' selfie. So Ellen DeGeneres hosted the 2014 Oscars, and during the show, she wanted to get a selfie with Meryl Streep, and then a bunch of other celebrities joined in. So the picture included people like Meryl Streep, Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper, Brad Pitt, Lupita Nyong'o, etc., etc. And like, I don't really care, so it's going in the third tier. So next is a huge thing that happened in 2014 that I feel like not a lot of people talk about that much anymore, and that's when Sony got hacked. Sony got hacked by a group called Guardians of Peace, and it revealed so much. Fully doxed employees and their families, released scripts of unfinished films, released like footage of unfinished films and plans for unreleased films. Also revealed a bunch of emails from Sony executives with Disney about Spider-Man. More specifically, emails where they were talking about a deal with each other about moving Spider-Man into the MCU, which did not include Andrew Garfield. Like, they discussed having a new Spider-Man that would be introduced in a Captain America movie, which ultimately did end up happening. So during the hack, this group of people demanded that Sony would rather film The Interview, and this film starred Seth Rogen and James Franco, where they play people who are hired by the United States and South Korean governments to set up an interview with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un as a part of a plot to assassinate him. So yeah, not a highlight of that year, so we're gonna put that at the bottom. Completely switching gears here, the next thing I'm ranking is The Baba Duuk. The Baba Duuk is a 2014 indie psychological horror film directed by Jennifer Kent. The film did very, very well and garnered a large devoted fan base, including an ironic gay fandom that has now adopted the Baba Duuk as a gay icon. And this spread enough that when the movie was put on Netflix later, it was categorized under LGBT movies. If you were on Tumblr during this time like me, surely you saw this. And you were a real one if you saw Baba Duuk fan art on DeviantArt. This is truly one of my favorite things to come out of 2014, so of course it has to go at the top. I don't think we talk enough about the impact of the Baba Duuk, so Yeah. Second to last is Pharrell's hat. Pharrell went viral for wearing this funky hat at the Grammys, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know about this until I was looking up things to rank, and every site that talked about iconic 2014 pop culture moments mentioned Pharrell's hat. I don't know how this is the thing that I never knew about. So I guess I don't really care because it's just a Arby's hat. And lastly, we have another hacking scandal. It's the celebrity hacking scandal of 2014. So in August 2014, a compilation of over 500 images and other visual media of celebrities, pretty much mainly women, in explicit and intimate settings were posted on the image board 4chan. It of course started spreading so much as people put it onto other sites like Reddit. When I was reading about the scandal, I learned that it has a terrible name for it that I almost don't want to say because it's just like, it's gross. This was known on the internet in 2014 as the fappening. It's super f***ed up, going at the bottom for obvious reasons. And that's it. That's the ranking of iconic and unhinged pop culture internet moments of 2014. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like this video if you did. If there's anything I missed, comment below what I missed and where you would rank it. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't already.